A seeker once approached the master Gorakhnath with a question as old as the stars. Is this universe created by God? Gorakhnath didn't answer with words at first. Instead, he stared into the seeker's soul until the silence became unbearable, then let out a laugh, not of comfort, but of a man who had seen through centuries of collective delusion. He told the seeker that his question was old, rotten, and borrowed, coming from books and priests rather than his own blood and bone. Before truth can be heard, one must be alive enough to receive it. Did you know that the human brain is hardwired to seek patterns even where none exist, often inventing creators to explain the chaos of a silent universe? Gorakhnath challenged the seeker's motive, suggesting that if he truly wanted truth, he wouldn't ask about a distant God. He would ask why he remains asleep while being alive, why his breath flows without his permission, and why thoughts appear uninvited. People ask about God because God is safe. He is a concept that keeps you conveniently away from the terrifying reality of yourself. When the seeker argued that everything must have a cause, Gorakhnath struck the ground with his staff, calling that certainty a disease. If everything requires a cause, then who caused the creator? Logic is a loop that keeps the mind from falling into the infinite. He explained that while a pot has a potter and a house has a builder, existence itself is not a manufactured object. Space is not assembled and awareness is not built. The human mind is a tool designed for beginnings and endings, but existence is not within time. Rather, time is a small ripple within existence. Trying to measure the infinite with the mind is like trying to use a ruler to measure the space that contains the ruler itself. The seeker, confused, asked if there was no God at all. Gorakhnath laughed again, comparing the question to dreaming of a tiger and then asking who fed it. Both the tiger and the inquiry are parts of the same dream. He explained that religion looks outward, philosophy looks upward, and yoga looks inward, but he was interested only in awakening. Scriptures, he warned, are not truth. They are merely maps. Most people spend their lives worshipping the map while never taking a single step upon the actual land. What if your most sacred beliefs are actually the heavy curtains preventing you from seeing the light they claim to describe? If a God created the universe, Gorakhnath reasoned, then that God must have existed before the universe. If existence was possible for God without a creation, then existence itself does not require a creator to be possible. With one honest look, the seeker's logical structure collapsed. The universe, the master said, is not a thing but an event, a flame that is constantly happening with no clear beginning or end. We crave a creator only because we crave the security of a controller. Is your morality a genuine fragrance of the soul, or is it just a leash of fear disguised as goodness? Gorakhnath insisted that morality imposed by fear is nothing more than hypocrisy. A man who is good because he fears punishment is not truly good. He is merely obedient. True compassion happens naturally when one sees clearly, just as fragrance naturally rises from a flower. Existence does not punish or reward like a judge in a courtroom, it teaches and reveals. When the ego cracks and silence finally descends, people feel a vastness they call God simply because they have no other word for it. The experience of the infinite is real, but the explanation is often false, a label pasted on silence by frightened minds. Gorakhnath's advice was radical: stop seeking answers and start destroying the seeker. Sit, watch and breathe until the mind becomes naked. Truth is not an idea, it is being. The real question isn't whether God made the world, but why you keep creating illusions to hide from the void. Knowing is the final obstacle. Only when you drop knowing do you truly begin to be. Could you handle the weight of a world where there is no bottom to hit and the only truth is a continuous free fall? Gorakhnath urged the seeker to walk beside him, not below him. For awakening requires the courage to stand without borrowed meanings. Most people change their masks, dropping one belief only to grab another. But true courage is the courage to be nobody. Borrowed meanings from parents, society, and religion are the heaviest chains. They act as filters that prevent us from seeing with our own eyes or hearing with our own ears. When you drop interpretation, the world becomes unbearably alive. What if you are just a bundle of luggage, memories, fears, and hopes that you've forgotten you can simply put down? Dissolving doesn't mean disappearing, it means the false center melts away. When the owner of the life is gone, suffering has nowhere to sit. The divisions between the observed, and God collapse into a single happening. This suchness is found in the ordinary, the sound of wind, the ache in a knee, or the fading of a thought. Awakening is not adding light, but removing the walls. It is the undeniable now where all questions finally die.